Hi, this is Kim from Crane's Booksmithing. Hope you're doing very well. We're doing really well. I'm doing well, and just so glad to see that a lot of things are opening up again. And even the antique stores are opening. Last week they opened, and I went to one of them. They didn't really have much in there that I was looking for, but it was so fun just to go into one again and look around. And today I'm going to show you this book I made for my son. He's been wanting me to make one for some time, and I just hadn't done it because I really didn't know exactly where to get all the stuff, and I still didn't get a lot of stuff. I only basically used one old magazine from 1918 and two books that I had found at an estate sale. One was on American history, and one was a book on the 1940s. So I use Mod Podge on this. I use this type of material on here, and then I use this material again. I was going to do it differently, but I changed my mind, and I used these old vintage buttons. Here's the back of it, and it's probably about an inch fine. And this is a Tim Holtz frame, and I stuck George Washington in there. And let me show you the inside of it. This paper here came from the Dollar Tree, and it's the Declaration of Independence, and I put it in here, and I think it came out really nice looking. I used this envelope from a store, and put vintage buttons on here. And I took this page from one of the history book and tore it, and it was rather thick paper, so it made a nice pocket. And this here I bought some time back, and it's a little boy playing like he's been wounded in the army. There's the back of it, and I thought it was so cute because it reminded me of my son when he was a little boy, and he used to like playing like he was in the army, and one time he had put toilet paper around his head, and I thought it was so cute. It reminded me of him. He was pretending he was wounded. And here's a page from the history book, and this one's on about joining the cavalry. This one here is from a newer magazine, and it's from talking about the war in 40. Talking about D-Day is what it's talking about. And this here is a cluster I made a few weeks ago, and I thought it was cute, and I made it with a vintage stamp, and I used a safety pin on it, which I think adds interest, and I like it. I thought it came out cute that way. This book here was from the 40s, and it was a bird book, and I thought these owls were so cute, and I like the way they looked in this book. This is from that old magazine, and I cut it out. It was it's condensed milk ad, and this is a newer page from a magazine. And then I just put these pictures here on it. Now these guys are on the wrong side, but oh well. I didn't have much to use, so I thought, well, it tells a little bit about them, and all of them. This here tells about Abraham Lincoln. I love this illustration here. I think it is so neat. All those beautiful, oh wait, it goes this way, flags and banners and I think that's really cute, and I just love the coloring of it. Almost all the papers are coffee dyed, and this here is some vintage stamps. This one here is from 61, and I don't know how old the other ones are. Some are older and some aren't. I made this from the history book. And I made some paper. Now this looks like new paper, but it's really vintage. It was in good shape, and I used that and made a little place for him to write things. He said he's going to put dates of people's birthdays and things like that and keep them in here. He loves to buy presents for people. And here's some more of the vintage stamps. Here's a picture of a Civil War hat. And just vintage papers and book pages I used. And this here's a pocket. I don't have anything in this one. And here's a pocket here too. And this is from Graphics Fairy, and it's of a postcard for Memorial Day, which at the time when I was fixing it, I wasn't thinking that this weekend is Memorial Day weekend, and I didn't even think about that. Here's no poem, and it's about America's land and everything, which, I had taken this out. I'd made a video before, but it came out so bad that I had to redo this. And here's a card, and this one's a vintage one, and it's the Guys in the Army. It's from 1918. Thought that was cute. And then I got this cartoon from the magazine from the about the 40s. And I made this pocket here. This is some of my vintage quilt that I had, and I just have little tiny pieces now, but I use this for his pocket here, side pocket. And it does have hand stitch from someone from long ago, which is neat. And here's another pocket. I didn't put anything in that one. And some old stamps here. And the funny thing is, me and my husband went to an antique store, and we found some envelopes, and it had some people we knew of from this little tiny town that we grew up in. And she, this lady, my family used to babysit her cats when she would go on vacation, and I still remember that. And my husband, and he knew her too as a young boy. He knew them, and which was interesting. Now this book here is from the 1800s, late 1800s, and I never have used it before. Honestly, I had put it away and forgot I had it. But it has some nice illustrations in it. And here's a school book. It's, for young people, and it has a little poem here about the leaves fall down, and it made me think of all the soldiers who had lost their lives, and so I put that in there. And here's some young men from the 40s and their training. Now this song says, "Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition." My son told me about this song, and he was laughing about it, and I had never heard of it before, and he was telling me about it. And then in that book, from the book about the 40s, they had a little section about about the war years there, and so they had this in there, and this tells how it came to be. And this one here is British soldiers and during World War II, and they had, and I did add them because I don't know, I just like the pictures, and even though this, you know, well, we were all together anyway, and so it's about the pigeons and how they carried messages on their little legs. This page here I took out of the book because it had all these beautiful medals that this war hero had won, and his name was Audie Murphy, and he made some movies there. One was about his life story there. And this too is in that book, and it tells the things that the government issued to the soldiers, like blankets and socks and all that kind of things. Get that on there. And this is an ad for Army blankets, talking about I think saving wool so that they can use it for Army blankets and using some other type of material, which was kind of neat. And here's some swords or daggers there, and I put that in there. Here's some of these clusters that I have made of the scrap papers, and you can write in the back of it. And then this here will open up back here, and he can write on here if he wants to. And here's another envelope, and there's a pocket, and here's a new stamp, and but it looks so neat, and it says US forever, USA forever, and I thought that was cute, so I stuck that in there. This here is some pictures that my husband and me were looking at some, and they were so cheap at an antique store, and so I was going to get some because there were some really cute ones, and so we were going through them, and he picked up the wrong pile that we were going to get, and so we ended up not getting the ones we had wanted, and but it came in handy after all, because this one's of Coast Artillery, and this was from Louisiana, from some fort there, so that came out pretty good after all. And here's an old card that I saw, and I wanted it for my son's journal whenever I would make one, because I knew I was going to make one eventually. And I don't know what date this has on it, but I can't really see it. And it was sent to the mother or father. This one has a woman's name, so I guess it was the mother, to let them know that their son had arrived safely overseas. And I thought that was kind of neat. And here's a song that says, "This is the Army, Mr. Jones," and I stuck a vintage stamp there, and this is from that 1918 magazine. It's an article about orders for the home battalion, and it talks about what we can do to help our soldiers and help our life here, almost the way we've been doing now, of helping by keeping others safe by wearing masks and all of that kind of stuff, and staying home, and that we have gone through. And here's a song, Battle Hymn of the Republic. I put this here and made it look worn and stained it so that it would look like an old tape. And so because I had sewed these 3 buttons and they did leave a little, you know, a little bump from tying them and stuff, so I wanted to make sure that was covered. But I like the way it looks. And there they are, they're old. And I put this material here, and I think that looks neat. Here's the pocket, and I just have some paper there, just plain paper for him to write on if he wants. And on this side I did put, and I don't know if you can see it, but it has some little stitches, X's there. They're in white though. And I put this, I have made these with laces and things on it and coffee dyed them, but I left this one plain. It is coffee dyed though. And here's some soldiers on horses, and this is so pretty, all this color and everything. Here's some ephemera I made. This is of an old magazine, and this is a Norman Rockwell picture that he painted of the soldier coming home. There's a pocket behind this, and then in the envelope pocket, which I have sewn and coffee dyed. And this is with those pictures that we got by mistake. So I just stuck him in there. His name was Andrew. I'm thinking about adding some pictures of my father and my husband's father, who also served in the military, and I thought that would be nice to add them in his book too, but I haven't done it yet. He has a lot of places to write, and this one here is ad to, and it's ad for this record player here. And this here's from Graphics Fairy, and it says, "Live peacefully with all men," and this is from the Bible, a Bible scripture. And you can write in the back of that too. And I did think about sewing it, but I didn't. I think it looks nice anyway. It looks soft. And to give it more of a vintage feel, I think, the softness of it. And this picture here seems soft, and the coloring and everything. And this here is a postcard, and I don't know how old it is, but it's just one of those plain ones like that. And this is an ad from 1918 magazine also, and it's about saying that it's almost Christmas. Take some pictures and send to your soldier, and it says, "The pictures you are planning to send to that soldier of yours, they must soon be on the way if you would make sure that he has them to gladden his heart on Christmas morning." And so I had a picture of this girl here out, and she looks like she's wistfully thinking of her soldier, I think, anyway. And then here's some more swords and daggers and things like that. And this cluster here I glued on. And this is a Tim Holtz photo booth picture. I think that's what they're called. I stapled it in. And this is from the back of an late 1800s book. And he can write in the back of that if he wants to. And it's just about English language or something. And this is looks like leather, worn leather of this paper. And then this card here, you know, you can stick between the pages so they'll be easier to write on. And I kept it on with this, and this was already on it. It was on a file cabinet, some type of divider. And there he is, and I think it came out pretty nice. And you guys have a really great day, and hopefully we'll see you not too long with another book. And oh, I am having a sale on my Etsy shop, Crane's Booksmithing, so please take a look. Maybe there's something there you would like to take home with you. You guys have a great day now. Bye.